Hi collective, I'm back again with a blackout message. I got many downloads, so I think maybe tonight when I get back from work I will do some tarot reading on it. I put up a really important message yesterday or last night about these occult practices that is going on divine feminine and divine masculine. And you need to understand these are occult people, and most of them has lots of money because they steal it from other people. These are not people who got rich because they work hard or they have a high qualification. These are people who makes stealing on a professional level, hacking or scamming or whatever, or they sell their spiritual knowledge on the dark side. Very well, just look at that. If you want to get somebody cursed, it's $2,000-$3,000. Okay, so these spiritual workers who does such a dark work, they thriving financially because usually those people who pay for this has money, and they destroy every competition, everybody who, these are God complex and narcissistic people because they don't fight correctly. Do you understand? The problem is that when they do spell work on somebody who's karmic, it works well. But when they do it against a divine feminine or divine masculine, there is a divine resistance there. And some of these bitches don't give up. They continue. And us, divine feminine and divine masculine, we have a backup, spiritual backup protection on us that we need to definitely use against these people so they won't take away what is ours. It is really important that we protect what is ours, because our spiritual gifts was given to us, not them. Our abundance were given to us, not them. They do not deserve it, and they do not have right to take it away spiritually. And this is really important, that when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your time, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your family, you protect them and you don't let these people to hurt them and take them away. Because once they take it away, it's really difficult to get them back. These people cause huge injustice in this divine feminine, divine masculine life. And I think we can associate ourselves with divine feminine, divine masculine like that, because most of us went through difficulties like that. We know what is it when we are accused with something we have never ever done. And we know what is it when we lost everything. And we know also what is it when we have to go through the dark night of the soul because we have no choice. These are narcissistic, godless, lazy people. They never ever worked as much as we did. And only things they do, they sitting on their fucking ass and stealing from people. And they think it's work. It's not. They are lazy shits. And spirit does not appreciate them. Universe does not appreciate them. You need to understand, if these people would depend on their own capacities, they would have nothing. Nothing at all. These are not talented people. Certainly they can't call themselves elite when they don't even have a high EQ. You don't need a IQ to steal from people, huh? Today there are so many logiciels and electric machines and all kind of shit. You just have to have money to have them and learn how they work, and that's it. These people are not intelligent at all. They are certainly, they think they are elite. They are not. They think they are elite because they have money. That money was never theirs. They took it away from somebody. So it's not theirs. They don't earn it with their own capacities. So that does not make them elite. Elite is somebody who is very intelligent or work really, really hard and become very rich because of that. Okay? I know lots of millionaires who worked, well, I'm not saying hard, but they had such an intelligence that they could turn money working for themselves, and they have a kind of mentality that even if they do nothing, money is multiplying in their life. So they have a capacities, mental capacities to do that, and they are the elite. They can be the elite because this is a gift also. Do you understand? But these people we are talking about here, they have money because they steal it from others, and they didn't do anything for it, only crimes. Okay? And in my eyes, somebody does crimes, it's not a work. It's not a work. I'm sorry. When you steal a money of somebody who worked really hard for it, or the property, that is not yours. It was never yours. You stole it. And you are not an elite because of that. I don't care what car you're sitting in, what kind of house are you living in, what kind of clothes you're wearing in. When you are fucking hooker, when you are fucking a criminal, you are nothing else but that. You are not an elite, and you will be never ever an elite. You don't have the mental or spiritual capacity to be an elite. Okay? And they pissed off because I took my mind, and many of you divine feminine, divine masculine is like me, speaking up. And these people want to quiet us. These people want us to shut up and go down in a system. Some will finish up in a street. Some were starving and without anything. That is their aim. These are really useless, ungodly, evil people. I don't care. Some of them even church leaders. And they will organize your fall so you would be on a street without anything. So I remember when I was forced to go in a shelter with my children. And it was a really, really small place we got. It was not even 6 square meter, the place, and I had to provide for my kids there. I had to cook for them there. I had to store food there, the clothes there, to wash our clothes, dry our clothes. Imagine that while a house where I lived, well, it's the bathroom 6 square meter, not a living area. So, but I managed, but it was a bit difficult because it was everything everywhere, you know. How do you manage with 2 kids in 6 square meter to live? It's really difficult, and cook and keep the food, the clothes, and wash and everything. And in the same time, I had to teach my kids also because the school were closed because of the coronavirus. So schooling and everything in 6 square meter. Imagine that. So it was really, really difficult. And I asked a friend, well, now I know this is not a friend, this is an enemy, because I got a problem with the car, so the car had to stay at the garage for a while, and I couldn't go and get some groceries and water. And I asked if she could do that for me, because anyway, she always goes in that city in her church, okay? And she said she can, and she came. And first thing what she did, she did photos of where we live. I didn't understand why. But you know, when you trust people because you think they are your friends, when it's not true, they are your enemy. After they were showing everybody and laughing on me and my kids, because that's what they wished for me. That's what they wished for me. I lived in a big house. I had a relatively a good life with my kids. Financially, it was stable. And they didn't like that, you know. While we had my ex abused us, yes, in that level. It was not a good life, but we did not have serious financial difficulties. And it made this woman extremely joyful and happy that we were in this shelter, in these circumstances, and were enjoying showing people our suffering. Do you understand? And that shows the evilness of this person. And this person called herself Christian. So it just shows that you can't trust people. You can't have a trust in people, because I'm telling you, even if they help you, it's a narcissistic manipulation. They help you just to get information about you or get something from you they can chew on, because they're nothing else but a fucking narcissist who can't stop talking shit about you, ruining your reputation and trying to push you down because she is fucking jealous of you. And God, that's when God says that, Manoa, this is my divine feminine. I won't let this shit fake Christian destroy her and her family. And this is when I really get pissed off, because these are the typical narcissistic people, because they say, oh, but I helped you. But they don't tell you how much they fucked you up in your back. They don't tell you how much they manipulated the situation and lied about you. So you could lose your kids, you could lose your house, you could lose your finances. And they enjoyed it because they hated that you had a good financial situation. They've been waiting for years to push you down in that shit and see you on the street or see you in that shelter, in that fucking 6 square meter. And you treated these people like your brothers and sisters. You took care of them. You invited in your house. You cooked for them. You organized everything for them to feel good when they are at your place. And all they did, they just were boiling in jealousy. How could you have a house like that? These are jealous fucking narcissistic bitches who were spoiled by their parents, and they had easy life because their parents always put everything on their bottom. They never ever fought for anything or worked really hard, because the parents were always there to help them out. If they couldn't make it at the end of the month because there was no money, the parents always give. If they had to buy an apartment or rent, the parents were there to help you to get furniture and things like that. And there is us, who had nobody help us. We had to do everything alone. And when we reach a point in our life, especially when you are 40s, 50s, and a 20, 30 years of bitch, things that you should be on a street, well, don't be surprised if God steps in and will humiliate these people and teach them where their real place is. And when you come out with spiritual gifts, healing capacities and things like that, they are upset. They are fucking upset why they don't have that. Because you don't deserve it, and you never ever worked for it, and you don't have a psychological setup to be able to handle a spiritual gift like that. So what do? They go to all extents to destroy you and try to get somehow your gifts and everything what is yours. This is a 3D reality. You can't trust bitches like that. And I'm telling you, I don't have problem with Christian people. Do not misunderstand. But in my experience, I don't remember even one Christian on well, I know a few Christian leaders who are really extraordinary, but they were not friend. I know them. But I'm talking here about Christian friends I had. They were all fake and narcissistic and jealous and full with evilness. All of them. And me, I'm just done with Christians at this level. I'm just. You know, it's really hard to find the true Christians when you go to a church, because most of them are fake. And unfortunately, many Christian religions are deformed by dogmas and man-made shits, rules. And because of that, they create a cruel, unloving people in a church. And unfortunately, it's exactly like when Jesus was alive. When, but in that time they were no, the Christian didn't exist, so they were the Jewish people in the synagogue. I'm sorry, I have a hiccup, guys. Sorry. So when Jesus went in the synagogue, he saw the same type of people that you can see today in Christian churches. And they get pissed off that you are the evil, you are satanic. And I'm telling you, some of these leaders, some of these people doing satanist rituals, and nobody knows that. And they go to church, they smile, they put up the mask that they are good Christian, and it's not true. This is the deception. I'm telling you, the deception describe them really well. Really, really well. When they tell you to help you, and after they make photos of you where you live, and after they celebrating with their friends, how they fuck you up. Do you understand? And how much you deserve to be there. And they enjoy your suffering with your kids. And after you use these photos to tell the social service that she can't manage to have better than that because she does not work, so she has no right to keep the kids, and lying on top of that all kind of shits about this divine feminine to the social service so she could lose her kids. And you know why? Because these are mothers who are not good mothers, and they were bothered by the relationship I had with my kids. I had a really good relationship, and they were really loving and caring towards me, and they couldn't stand that. They couldn't fucking stand that. They were boiling of jealousy why their kids are not like that with them. And actually, I saw in the future that their kids won't be respectful with them at all. And that is a kind of bad karma on their life for what they did, for example, to my kids. Do you understand? And this is really important, that you trust God, you trust universe and source and God. You pray, you have a relationship with them, you meditate. But you need to understand, you have to be vigilant on a 3D level. And you, even when you test people, it's really, really difficult to find real friends. I mean, real friends who really won't be jealous of you and fuck up your life. You have to protect yourself, your family, and don't let outsider easily in your family life. One of these, my friend, actually not one of them, many of them even slept with my husband. Just to try it out, you know. Or try to get my husband away from me. Because he earns well. Well, he can keep them out, you know. Excuse me, guys. So, you need to be really vigilant. And don't even, I'm sure that I don't invite people anymore in my house, okay? So they don't need to know where I live, what I have. If I invite somebody that is somebody special, somebody who is tested already and deserve to come into my house, okay? And you just don't know, when you invite people in your house, they get jealous of everything. Do you understand? And people don't have a right to know how much you earn. People don't have a right to know what kind of work you do. Nothing, because it's just will spike up jealousy to destroy you. Do you understand? Especially when you are a divine person. Your light will irritate them. You don't need to dim your light for these people, but limit the contact. And if you can feel this karmic energy, you just cut it off. You don't need them. You don't need them at all. At all. And I'm telling you, most of these people, I had them more than they had me. But after it came out like it's them only who had me and I'm somebody who's taking advantage of them. That was never ever the truth. You have to make sure when you're spiritual that you to listen to your spirit guide and you help only those people who really need help. Do you understand? And leave these fake people, narcissistic people, to make friends with other ones, not you. You don't need these people. They typical thing what they do. They create a kind of community sense that if you want to belong to there, they will help each other. They will. There is a kind of how shall I describe this? That you will feel you want to belong to them because they are nice, and those who does not belong to them, they are usually not nice. So you want to be seen with them, you want to be with them, and this is the illusion what they create. And when you go against them or you just simply don't want to be with them, they start gossiping and very badly about you. And because sometimes people see you with these people, they think you are friends and they know everything about you when they don't. And the most disgusting thing, when somebody needs help and ask help, like me, I was abused in this marriage with my children. And when finally I started to speak up and we needed help, and these people just twisted the bullshit. And they tell your situation to others, but with lies, to manipulate others against you. Source wants you to know that when your blessings and your breakthrough will come into your life, do not let these people back. Do not help these people. Because they will continue hurting you and fucking you up. Simple as that. These people didn't become divine. They were never ever divine. I don't care even if they're Christian and they are Christian leaders. Somebody is malicious, evil as fuck, can't be divine. Do you understand? I don't care how much they went in a church or how much they presenting themselves as spiritual readers or authority when they are not, because they are not recognized in a spiritual realm as a spiritual authority or spiritual leader. And they pissed off because they can see you having spiritual gifts and having real spiritual authority because you are a real spiritual leader, and they get pissed off that how dare you. You don't lead the church. You don't have people under your control. I do not want to control people. These people get everything wrong. And I saw this in Christian world. Many Christian churches where I was building, because I lived in different countries. And wherever I went, I built in the church. So I had a chance to see many Christian churches. And most of the time, I'm so sorry, but 80% of the leaders in a Christian church are money hungry, power hungry, karmic people. They have nothing divine about them. Just because they're mimicking other Christians, just because they're reading the Bible, they know a few verses and can talk about it, they does not make them divine. And all they want is to become leaders, to be able to control other peoples. This is a narcissistic behavior. Narcissistic people can live. They can't exist without controlling people. I had a mother-in-law, and I always show respect to this woman because she had a really difficult life. She was a cleaner all of her life, and she worked really, really hard to achieve something or pay something for. And with her husband, they created wealth, okay? So I had always respect for this woman. But because she was unhealed, and she felt insecure all of her life because she was a cleaner. She could not put herself through this. So she became extremely narcissistic, a Jezabel spirit who had to rule and control other people, including her children. And if someone did not bend her knees for her will, she destroyed that person. But she didn't do it like, okay, I will go and I destroy you. No, 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 no. It's typical Jezebel spirit. They're going back of the person, gossiping, lying about her. So other people will see that person really bad. And I remember she tried to humiliate me many times, talking bad about me. And when his son appeared, he denied it. Or she denied it, and she just played the good mother and blamed everything on me that I never ever done or said. What she was doing, turning his son against me. And I'm sure many of you knows mothers or mother-in-law like that. These are narcissistic mother-in-law who wants to maintain control over their children. They do not realize their children are grown up, that their children are adults, and they want to maintain control not just on their own children, but the grandchildren and the spouse also. These are called the kind of matriarch, a feminine energy. I call them Jezabel, because they are not divine at all. They are very dark energies, Jezabel spirits, who wants to control everybody's life. And it comes from an insecurity that had to suffer all of their life or their childhood. That this woman could not have a job that is well respected in a society, gives so much hurt and insecurities that when she created with her husband a wealth, she used this wealth to manipulate people around her. So she could feel better about herself. She could feel that she is in power. Okay? And especially this woman, if people didn't do what she wanted, she played the fragile woman. Like she was crying. She was upset about things, in a very feminine, manipulative way. Every woman can manipulate with emotions. But when you are a healthy woman, you realize you don't do it because it's not right. This is really important that you realize these feminine energies who are Jezebel around you. And of course, they have their masculine version also. And you do not let them into your family life. You do not let them to ruin your marriage and your relationship with your children. Because these are like the termites. How the termites destroy the wood. They get into the wood house in a wood, and you don't notice it at the beginning when they start destroying the structure inside of the wood. You will notice it when the damage is really bad, and some cases is so bad that you need to destroy the whole house, because if not, it will collapse. This type of Jezabel, somebody does not want me to talk. This type of Jezabel, spirited woman and man, because there is man version of it, they operate exactly like that. They don't show up themselves as an evil person. No, honey. They will manipulate. They will lie. So people around you will block you and get angry with you and do things that are harmful in your life. So you would fall. And when you fall, they will celebrate. These are very malicious, evil people. I don't care if they're Christian or not. The reality, when somebody behaves like that, that is a Jezebel spirit, very malicious and evil. And sometimes this person is your mother. And you don't even realize it. I'm not saying to be ungrateful that that person brought you up. But this person who will tell you 100,000 times that, oh, I sacrificed everything for you. Oh, I couldn't eat, but I bought food for you. And I bought clothes for you. You did have everything because I worked hard for it. You know, this is a typical Jezebel spirit. A mother who loves you, a mother who deeply loves you, will never ever bring up all the sacrifices that she did for you. Never. Do you understand? The mother who loves you take it normal to bring sacrifices for her children. And they will never ever bring it up to manipulate you, to make you to stay or make you to take care of them. Because a good mother will bring up children with divine love, and children naturally will be caring and loving towards them. But when there is a Jezebel spirited narcissistic mother bring up a man or a woman, they are cold. They are cold. They don't give this divine love to their children, so the children don't get attached. The children don't think naturally they have to take care of the old parents. So they have to continue manipulating that, oh, I sacrificed so much in my life and you leave me like this. So people stayed attached to them. Feel bad that, yes, this is my mother. I have to give in. I have to obey. No, you don't have to give in. You don't have to obey. You have to understand a narcissistic mother like that could ruin your whole life. Not just your marriage, not just your children, but your whole fucking life. And they will be happy when you lost everything and you have nothing at all in life. They will feel good because they will know they achieved more than you, so they will feel good about themselves because everything is fed from their insecurities. Do you understand? The download was about this, really these Jezebel spirited women, that how important it is that you understand to have to keep your private informations, your private life, for example, away from a woman like that. I don't care if it's your mother. She does not need to know when you argue with your wife. She does not need to know when your son do something shameful or make a huge mistake. Because this type of Jezabel will blame everything on that person after she knows it. And will blow it up, talk negatively, send evil eye and on your son, on your wife, and it will ruin your relationship forever. Do you understand? This type of mother has to know strictly, but strictly the minimum of your family, of your wife, your husband, your children. Do you understand? Because if not, they will plot, they will do spiritual shits until everything will be ruined, just to prove themselves perfect. They will blame your wife. How bad is she? And they will bring themselves up as an example. This type of person does not understand that everybody has a different life path. Everybody has a different life. And they make themselves look like a national hero or heroine, somebody extraordinary, and they want that the wife, your wife, won't be as successful than she was. Do you understand? Because that's the only way they feel good about themselves. So if your wife has a good job or earn money, say nothing about it. Nothing. Because I'm telling you, they will talk so badly about your wife that is like an evil eye, that it can go that far that your wife will lose her job one day because of this spiritual evilness, manipulation that your narcissistic mother can do. But at least to spoil the relationship between you and your wife. When you have a problem with your wife or your husband, you have to find a solution together. If there is an abuse, physical or sexual or any kind, you need to look for help outside, but professionals, not fucking shit narcissistic friends or mother-in-law who knows nothing about life. Certainly, how can somebody who was a cleaner know more about kids, psychology, and problems? And I'm telling you, this woman, this mother-in-law, she had an opinion of everything. Like she was God, she knows everything. She never ever studied. She never ever did anything else but cleaning. But she knows some child psychology. She knows everything. Economics. She knows business. She knows everything. Do you understand? When she has no knowledge at all and no experience at all, but she's playing the fucking wise. And none of her ideas, none of her opinions were valid or useful. These are narcissistic, Jezabel-spirited women and men who are experts of everything. Now, when you are an expert, there is two things that could happen. You studied, and that's why you're an expert, or you have lots of experience in a subject. But when you are a fucking cleaner all of your life, and you brought up 2 kids, and you had with your grandchild, so it makes 3 child, and you make yourself look like a child care expert. When I worked with more than 300 kids. So you can imagine the knowledge, the experience. On top of that, I studied it. I have qualifications about it. But it's always her who wanted to tell me how to do with my kids. Do you understand? Because she knows really well. She brought up 2 children and helped with the care of her grandchild. Well, not my children, that's for sure, because she never ever had anything for me. But she knows everything better than me. It doesn't matter. I studied psychology. I worked with hundreds of kids. I had experience. I had the knowledge. No, I was always the shit. I was always somebody who knows nothing. But she knows everything because she was a cleaner. I'm not putting her down, but that was the reality. You understand? And I respect her for working really hard. But when there is a Jezebel matriarch spirit like that, in your family, they want absolute control over everybody. And they know everything better than anyone. And if things does not go in her way, they will get revengeful and very evil to destroy you. Do you understand? And that's why you have to keep secret your family life from a mother or a father like that, or a brother or sister, because they will fuck it up, I'm telling you. You have a problem in your family, you keep it. You don't tell anyone. You try to find a solution with your spouse. If you can't, you have to go exterior. You have to go to professionals like a psychologist, a social worker, or a police. But not your friends who's fucking shit, you Jezabels also, gossiping and do nothing else but having a joy, rejoicing of your suffering. No. You need to make sure you will bring in professional helps and not idiot friends who are rejoicing on your failure, okay? That you're failing in your marriage or you're failing as a parent, whatever. And when they would be in the same situation, they wouldn't be able to stand even 1 minute like you do for many years. I'm not saying to be big-headed because who you are and what you've been through, but don't ask advice from people who has no idea, certainly no qualification and no knowledge, no experience what you're going through. When a 20, 30 something woman criticizes you that you have an easy life because you are stay-at-home mom at almost 50 or 40, late 40s, and you worked all of your life, more than 30, 40 years, or at least 30 years, not 7, 8 hours like she did. No, you worked 12, 16 hours per day, and for many, many years. And you're not sitting on your bottom all day long when you are stay-at-home mom, but you're going on and working all day long, especially when you have 2 children who have special needs. So you need to go and take them to specialists all day long, all week long. And they criticize you that you have an easy life and you are lazy. There is a serious problem there. You just don't have to tell people who you are, how do you live, how much you earn. Because they have no idea who you really are and what you have been through. Especially when somebody's young, like 30 years old, 30-something, and they don't have still experience. And it's normal. When I was 30, I worked 16 hours. Actually, now I do it also. But when I was 30, I did not stay at home with 6 children or 5 children or 4 children like this woman does. No, I went out and I worked 12 and 16, sometimes 14 hours. And sometimes the weekend also. Because when you are 20 and 30, that's when you've put down the base of your prosperity, working hard. It's normal when you are 20 and 30, you work hard. Because everybody does when they're 20 and 30. Do not dare to criticize somebody who's 50 or around 50 and been through hell and worked hard all of her life. Just because you see for a few years she has a kind of break from the work. You have no right to criticize her because you know nothing about her. And these are the women who are jealous. Wants to have everything what you have. Doesn't matter if they have it also. Or maybe they even have more than you have. These are malicious, wicked, and very evil people. And that's why you should lock these people out of your life. And when you experience this, don't be forgiving. Don't be forgiving. When Spirit takes you a higher level, lock these people out of your life. You don't need them. They are termites. They will destroy your house. They will destroy your life. These are narcissistic energy vampires. You have to be really careful when your blessing will come on a free day to keep this type of people away from you. Far, far away. If these people are in your family, you have to keep the minimum courtesy. So you are polite and respectful with them, but don't give out your life to them. Don't give out any information about your children, about your wife, your husband, because they will use it to destroy your life like a termite. You need to respect all people. You have to give the minimal respect to everybody. But after, if somebody proves themselves like really narcissistic because of their insecurities, you have to hold yourself back from that person. I told many times that just because somebody is old, it does not mean they have wisdom. Some old people, actually 80% of them, never ever grow up. They have still childish behavior. That's mean if they can't control you, they destroy you. These people, you know, in kindergarten, little kids, when they play on outside and they want somebody to punish for I don't know what reason, they do the same thing. These are immature people who never ever grow up, and they can be 70, 80, 90 years old and have the same spirit because they never ever matured emotionally. They stayed on a childish level. And from a person like that, you can learn nothing. The only thing you can learn, you don't want to be like them. By the same time, you are obliged to give the minimum respect. So if you have a parent who is like that, and I remember this woman sent in because I could not manage to help her anymore because I was extremely sick. So I had to take care of my own house and my own family. And honestly, she was doing really horrible things against me and my children and saying, and I said one day, no, it's impossible. I can't do this. When I helped her and I was really respectful with her. So I said, no, I'm sorry. If I have time, I lay down. I need to have a rest because I was very sick in that time. And I took care of my kids. And usually people with this sickness stay in bed all day long. Me, I was going all day long. So I said, no, she does not respect what I do for her. She talks shit about me. She talks like to me like I would be a shit. No, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. So I stopped helping her out. And she sent here her friends that she will sue me because I'm obliged to take care of her. And I got really pissed off. And I said, excuse me, she's not my mother. So her son can take care of her. Me, I won't. This is when you have people, you give your hand and they take your whole arm and pull you down, and it's still not enough. Because they need to make you into a slave 100% of your time. And it's still not enough even if they manage to do that. This type of Jezabel spirit will be never ever satisfied. Only things you can do is give the minimum that you really need to. If this person is your mother and doesn't have too much regret, you can afford to help them financially, yes, you need to. Yes, maybe you need to control that money. For example, you don't give the money to her, but pay for a cleaner or pay for somebody who comes to help her or things like that. Do you understand? But it does not mean you have to give out your whole life or have an access to unlimitedly your bank account. Do you understand? Because this type of mother has to understand you have a family to support, you have children to support, and one day you will be in retreat also. So you need to save for yourself also. And some mothers, some fathers do not understand that. They think because you are the children, they have a right for everything what you have. And when you examine your childhood, you can see they gave you the barely minimum. Why they were indulging themselves with alcohol or usually feminine energies, and they indulge themselves with luxury stuff. I know women like that. They don't have problem buying a Gucci bag, but they have a problem to buy fruits or nutritious food for their children. Their children don't starve because they will give them a hot dog or hamburger or all the time or the cereal. So in a way, they take care of their kids, but they could do much better, but they don't do it because they need that money for themselves to look more beautiful. Not every mother is like me, and I'm sure many of you like me, that I give a shit about my nails, I give a shit about I didn't have makeup, I didn't have clothes, nice clothes. I was running around with the cheapest thing I could find, but I bought that toy to my kids. I bought that fruit, I bought that piece of meat, I bought everything, the best of best for my kids. Do you understand? And even like that, people got jealous because with the cheap clothes, with the cheap makeup, I look like a very expensive woman. So they thought, I don't know what they thought, I give a fucking shit anyway. People are gossiping, and they're gossiping lies. A real mother will never manipulate you for money, or to have control in your marriage or in your relationship with your kids. A real mother who really loves their children, they know what is it because they did that. When you are a good mother, your children will not forget about you. The children will have a way to express their love to you, because that's what you did. That's what you taught them. When you express your love to your children, they learn it from you. When you express your emotions to your children, they learn it, and they will give it back to you. Do you understand? But when there is a narcissistic mother incapable to show an emotion, okay? It's the same thing when you have a mother who is abused for a long time, and some mothers become very cold, okay? I remember with my brother, I'm not judging my mom because my mom went through lots of shit, but she became cold because of the abuse. And I remember she never ever gave a hug or a kiss to me or my brother. And I said, when I started to work with kids, it just came naturally from me. That when a child cries, you pick up, you give them a hug, you give them a kiss, and you say, nothing, this is nothing, you will be fine, it will disappear the pain, don't worry. And a child will calm down because of the love you express, or you just stroke their head or their face, and you say, honey, this is just a little thing that you had on your leg because you fall. It's fine, and you calm a child down with your love. Do you understand? And narcissistic mothers, and also mothers who become cold because of the abuse, incapable to do that. So when their children will grow up, they automatically give back what they got from their mother. Do you understand? That whenever I go and see my kids, I'm with my kids, often I receive so much love from them that it makes me cry. I say I have extraordinary kids. They are so magnific. And I realize that, yes, because that's what I give them. That is the love what I give them. and they give it back to me. I don't have to manipulate my kids. I don't have to tell my kids, oh, you should do this and that and that. They know it. They know it because they received love, true love, divine love. And that's what they give back. And that's when a narcissistic parents see that, they will get jealous. Because for them in their head, oh, I did everything for my children and they are not loving like that. Honey, you are cold like a fish. Because a narcissistic person did not heal themselves. And because of their insecurities, their trauma, they become cold emotionally. They do not know what is real emotion. That's why it is very dangerous when you let covert narcissistic or pervert narcissistic people to pick their fucking nose in your business, because they fuck it up. You have no idea how evil, jealous they can be, and go just that way to destroy you and everything you touch, everything what you have, including your children or your husband or your finances, your job, whatever. You need to keep low grade when you have Jezabel spirit like that in your family, or if your friends like that. Sometimes it's really difficult to get rid of friends like that because they have many manipulation techniques. One of them is when they make themselves vulnerable and they need you. And after, how can you not help them? It's difficult. But a blessing that comes into your life because of God and universe is for you, for your children, for your family. Do you understand? Your children are your family. That is your future, your children. So these blessings should be that you build into your life. Finally, you can buy things for you that you couldn't buy for years. For your children, that you can spoil them a bit, and also to build a future. Some of you will have so much financial blessing coming in that source wants you to help certain people, but not necessarily in your family. Source knows people who are praying and asking for help for many, many years, and nobody helps them. And source might lead you to these people to help them. When your mother has bags and clothes that are really high marked, very expensive, and for her is a hand that you buy another bag for 6,000 euros or $6,000, because that is a true thing that a child should do. When you give a 6,000 euros or $6,000 to a mother who is on the street, has no jobs, and there is a baby on her arm that she needs to give food, look what is the difference you make in the world. What does your mother do with that bag that costs $6,000? Throw it in a closet. What does that mother, that is not your mother, but somebody's mother with the baby on a street, do with that $6,000? What changes it will make in her life? She might even be able to pay for a childcare for a year, so she could find a job, so she could rent a flat, so she could start a life, a normal life, and not being on the street alone. Why your own mother threw that fucking bag in a closet, and that money is useless? Do you understand what I'm talking about? And which one will build your good karma? The bag that cost $6,000 and your mother threw it in the closet after she wear it twice? Or the other mother that is not your mother, but this woman who has a baby and on the street without food, without shelter. And when you give her $6,000, she builds up her life with it. Which one will build your good karma? Which one will clear up your bad karma? Think. Think. You need to be really spiritual and listen to your intuition when it comes to your money, your finances. Where do you put your money? How you use your money? Because money is energy, and it's the same thing with your time. Because time is like money, energy. You can't waste on people who just take it, and it's not an investment. Do you understand? Because that time you could spend with your child building a good relationship with, or you could spend that time with your wife going out in the evening, or spending a special time together so you could reinforce your relationship, the base of your family. Because the base of the structure of a family is not the children. It's your wife or your husband. And if it's not strengthened, you don't make it strong regularly, this base will be shaken and one day destroyed. A family can't stand on worshipping children, because not the family. In a family, the priority is the couple, not the children. Because if you put the priority on the children, the base, the foundation will be shaken and destroyed. I have a couple who are, both of them are my friends, and they have 2 children very young. I mean, like 8 months and 18 months, something like that, and very little, okay? And they are wonderful couple. So you just look at them and just typical, they are still in love. They love their kids. Everything is turning around the kids. That is in a way normal today, because you want to give everything to your children. And once I was with them and they started to argue. And after I told the woman that, listen, this weekend I stay with your kids. Go out with your husband, have fun. No, maybe you can help me out if I need to go to the doctor. And I said, no. You spend time with your husband. You reinforce your relationship with your husband, because now, honey, that's what you need. Your kids will be fine. But now, you focus on your husband, and your husband focus on you. You love each other. You go back to the love, the first love you had when you got to know each other. You go out in a cinema. You go out in a restaurant. You don't have money. You go for a walk, or you go out for a picnic Saturday for lunchtime. I look after your kids. Take care of your relationship with your husband, because now your relationship is getting ruined, going down, deep down. And I have to convince her. Finally they did, and now regularly they call me, because they realize it's really important. Because in a family, really is the couple, is the base, the foundation. And sometimes people do not realize it, because be honest, you are the first, you are parents, okay? You love your kids. So everything is turned around the job, what you do, the work, and taking care of the kids. And a couple is somehow lost, okay? The relationship between man and woman, there is no time for that. No money for that. So what's happening, it goes on, because honestly, when you can say that now I can go out with my husband, I can go out with my wife because I have the money and the time, probably when your kids will be 14 or 16. But honey, during 14, 16 years, you and your husband will grow apart so much that you won't even recognize each other when you will start talking. You won't even have a common subject to discuss together, unless if it's gossiping the neighbors or what did the kids do. You need to do regularly things with your husband. I'm not saying to do, well, you do in a bedroom, you do it, but I'm talking about like social stuff. Why don't you have something you pursue together? I don't know, a sport, going to the gym, regularly go out on romantic walks, romantic dinners. This is extremely important. And people do not believe me, but when they do it, they realize the dispute, the argument disappears. And this love, what they felt at the beginning, install again in their relationship, in their family. And guess what? The kids will feel it and they will be calmer. I don't know why I had to talk about this. Anyway, so this is what I got downloaded. I finished this because 1 hour now. But you need to really careful who do you let into your life, and certainly in your family life. If you have a family, children, and your spouse, that is your spouse supposed to be your best friend. When you go out, guys, have a drink with your best friend, don't talk out all the shit what your wife is doing. Because I'm telling you, after your best friends will start talking against your wife, and do you understand what's going to happen emotionally and psychologically? You will be spiced up against your wife, and it will make you to have more and more confrontation with your wife. And I'm telling you, after a few years, it will finish in divorce. I'm not saying not to go out with your friends, guys, out there. Go. But talk about, I don't know, football or economics or politics or whatever, not your wife, not your kids. They don't need to know about it. They ask how is your wife, you say, fine, everything is fine, even if not. If you have a problem with your wife, you find a solution with your wife, not with your mother, not with your father, and not with your friends. Because most of the time, I'm telling you, 85-90% of the time, your friends, your parents has not the best of interest in your marriage or in your relationship with your kids. And they don't do it deliberately most of the time. Sometimes these people don't have nothing else to talk about but your kids and your relationship with your wife or your husband. They are bored. There is nothing to talk about. So they go sipping about you. But it will fuck up your life. So be careful who do you give out personal information about your children or about your wife or your husband. There is a family problem. It's your family, I mean your wife, your husband, and your children who should find a solution. Children are not idiots. When they are already 2 or 3 years old, you can communicate with them if there is a problem, and explain them what they should do, or teach them. And they will understand. And little by little they will change, and a problem will be solved. But going to your mother, father, friends, and talking about your problems with your kids, what they will do? Nothing. They can't help you. They only will just gossip about you and the situation and how bad husband, wife, or parent you are. And that is not a reality. That is not a reality. Because on the moment when your child is born, a parent is born. A newborn parent. Nobody is a 100% perfect parent when their child will be born. You will learn with your child to be a good parent. You will make mistake. You might want make the same mistake your parents did, because you will say, I will never ever do this to my kids that my parent did. But you will make other mistakes. And you have to accept that. You have to learn with your child how to be a good parent. And for that, you have to have a communication, interaction with your children. And you have to be honest with them. Well, this is my message today. I hope it helps somebody. I apologize for my voice. You need to understand I can't stop working just because of my voice and because of coughing. All of this is what my enemy wants to do, and I think that's why they're doing work on me. But I won't stop, okay? If I would lose my voice totally, I would find a way to put out my message anyway. So they can't stop me. And I hope this was helpful for somebody. If you leave some comments, I would really appreciate it. But especially if you like my video and subscribe to my channel.